Episode 8, Season 2 of The Dave Whitty Show. I'm your host, Dave Whitty. Folks, as always, this podcast is brought to you by Lamb's Rum. Lamb's is one of the top choices for Newfoundlanders who love the authentic, smooth taste. Enjoy Lamb's Palm Breeze today with a splash of Coke and lime wedge, or for something different, try Lamb's Spice on its own on the rocks. Lamb's is the best choice for hard-working Newfoundlanders, and at a great price, find Lamb's Rum at all of your local NLCs. Well, folks, welcome back again. Happy to be back for another episode. What a beautiful weekend here in Newfoundland. One of the best May 2-4s I remember on hand. I mean, just absolutely beautiful weather. Felt like the middle of summer, so I had an absolutely great weekend. First off, I want to say big thanks to Kirsten and Jordan of Quote the Raven for joining me last episode. Had a great chat with them. If you missed that one, go check it out, and make sure you do check out Quote the Raven on all of their social media and on their website, of course. Got a really another great fun episode this week. Justin Hawco of the Outhouse joins me. If you're unfamiliar with the Outhouse, it's a comedy group. Do satire skits, all over of YouTube. I'm sure you've seen all of their videos. I mean, if you follow anything Newfoundland related, these guys are all over the place. Kind of the birthplace of Cecil O'Brien, Mike Lynch's comedy character, and just a ton of different hilarious videos. I mean, we had a great chat, myself and Justin, all about the creation of the Outhouse and, the Newfoundlander versus videos and getting started and all that great stuff. So stick around a little later on for that chat with Mr. Justin Hawco. Wanted to announce a really fun show. I'm going to be dropping it later this week on social media, but I figure I did give you guys the first notice of it, I guess. June 25th at the Rock House, doing a Dave Whitty Band show. Got the full band lined up. Mr. Peter Green will be back in town, thumping the bass. I got the lovely Claire Follett opening up. It's going to be a great night. Tickets should be on sale by the end of the week, so hopefully I can get that up and running. But you guys are first to know, so save that date. It's going to be a really fun show. First time playing with the band for people in over a year and a half, which is absolutely crazy. Probably going to be my only band show of the whole summer. I've got a pretty busy summer coming up. I actually took some work in the film industry this summer, so I'm going to be pretty busy with that, and won't be doing very many solo gigs either. So if you are looking to catch a show, I mean, that's going to be the one there. Maybe something later on in the summer, but definitely nothing confirmed right now. So the only thing on the books for Whitty Band in St. John's this summer is this June 25th show. It's a Saturday night at the Rock House in St. John's on George Street, with opening set Claire Follett. It's going to be a laugh. So keep an eye for that one and make sure you grab your tickets if you can. Just an absolutely crazy May 2-4 this year. Weather-wise, I mean, like I mentioned, it actually felt like the middle of July. I spent 5 days in Greens Harbor, and it just felt like the middle of summer. It was absolutely awesome. Got out for a little hike on Saturday afternoon, went up and checked around the up by the doctor's house. If you've ever been up there, it's absolutely fantastic. It's very close to where my cabin is, and some great views. Got out and seen you're right on the ocean there, hiking along, and you can go through all their garden and check out all their animals. There's horses and chickens, and there's frogs and all kinds of cool stuff. So I really love that. It was absolutely beautiful. Speaking of beautiful and the weather, with my hockey season cluing up for the year, play hockey with great group of guys. I mean, playing hockey the last few years with the same group of guys. It now switches over to softball season. So this is my first year playing on the softball team, the Fog Pirates Softball Club. Really looking forward to that Sunday evening. So I haven't played softball in a while. Looking forward to getting out in the field. But it's a lot of the same guys I play hockey with, and a lot of the guys I grew up with. So I can't wait for that one. Go Fog Pirates, go! I'll maybe next. Actually, we got all our jerseys in and our hats and stuff. So maybe next episode I'll have my Fog Pirates hat on. What up? Oh, the Growlers are made it to round 3. Absolutely crazy what happened. I mean, they won the first round in 7 games, and the second round they were down 3-1, battled back, won 3 games on the road to win game 7. They're in the third round now against the Florida Everblades, down 2-0 in the series, lost 2 tight games at home here at the Mary Brown Center. They're on the road now for the next 3 games, I believe. So good luck to the Growlers in the third round, and hopefully they can get back around for Game 6 and Game 7. We can get out and support the Newfoundland Growlers, of course. I know everyone's maybe waiting, maybe not, maybe nobody gives a shit, but the Leafs are done. I know, you know me, guys. I'm a Leafs fan to the core, and nothing's going to change that way. I always laugh at people telling you to change your you got to give up on the Leafs. I mean, if you ever gave up on your team, hilariously enough, especially after doing it and cheering for them since you're a kid, because, as soon as you give up on the team, that would be the year they'd win. So definitely no giving up on the Leafs. I mean, they had a tough series. They're a hard-fought battle against the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are absolutely rolling over the Florida Panthers right now. I think they're up 3-0 in the series. They look like an absolute wagon. They look like they're ready to win 3 in a row right now. So the Leafs are done. Another tough first round exit. Looks like they're going to run it back. I mean, they had a great signing in Mark Giordano. I'm super psyched on that one. Basically, the league minimum for 2 years, which really helps out the books with the salary cap and all that stuff. So another season done for the Leafs. Nothing crazy about that. Nothing shocking, I know. I was really thinking that I thought they had a really good chance at pushing through the first round. Got a tough draw against that tough Tampa Bay team. So be interesting to see how the offseason plays out and what kind of happens with the Leafs in the offseason. See what happens with the Big Four. See if there's any big changes. Looks like they're going to run back with at least Dubas and Keefe. So be interesting to see. I'm still in the Leafs train. Go Leafs, go. Battle of Alberta has been a ton of fun, though. Edmonton and Calgary has been a really, really fun series. Connor McDavid looks like an absolute beast right now. He is on another level. I watched the game on Sunday night. Vander Kane, what a pickup from these guys for the Oilers. This is Vander Kane, man. He is insane. Scored a hat trick. I mean, he's tough, battles in the corners. He's gritty and he scores goals. It's a huge signing for them. And Edmonton are really, really looking good, especially playing against Calgary because they're a really good team too. So that's been really fun to watch, the Battle of Alberta, watching Brady Tkachuk. I didn't see him in the stands as a fan in Edmonton. I was very curious to see if he was going to be up partying and celebrating like he has been in Calgary for his brother Matthew, who plays on Calgary, but didn't see him in the stands in Edmonton, so that's been pretty interesting. The Blue Jays have been kind of weird. I mean, the Jays are everybody kind of hyped up the Jays, me included. I think everyone was expecting a little more out of the Jays so far. I mean, right now they're sitting at 22-19 when I'm recording. They can't get the bats going. It's very surprising because I think everybody thought that was going to be the biggest thing that they were going to have was going to be strong on the bats. I mean, they're home runs and lots of runs driven in, but it just doesn't seem to be working out right away. The pitching's been okay. Alex Manoah looks absolutely incredible. Really, really happy with his performance as of late, but the Jays got to get the bats going. But as always with the Blue Jays and Major League Baseball, it's a long season, so there's lots of baseball left. So still not too concerned. It's still only early in the season, beginning of May or end of May. Sorry. So. That about does it for me. What's going on? I just wanted to kind of plug my show there at the 25th of June. I'll be plugging that every episode right up until. And obviously love getting in my little bit of sports chat. And now you're lucky because you don't got to listen to me talk about the Leafs anymore for a few months anyways. So maybe just a little bit if there's any signings or anything like that. But that about does it for what's going on in my world, guys. So with that being said, I'll pass it over to Mr. Justin Hawco.
This meeting is being recorded.
Whoa.
What a wicked start. Let's keep it. I love it.
Does that always happen?
Yeah, I think so. Anyways, I'd like to welcome Mr. Justin Hawco to the podcast. That was a wicked way to start, man. I love that.
Did you hear that on your side?
Yeah, I think it came through on the speakers. Yeah. What's going on, man? Thanks so much for doing this, man. I appreciate it. We were just kind of chatting a little bit beforehand. I mean, what a crazy May 2 for this. Weather's been insane. So,
it's been absolutely crazy, man. Yesterday, me and Mike and the guys went ziplining.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I seen that on your Instagram. That must have been hilarious.
Oh, dude, it was so fun. And yeah, the weather was perfect. Like it wasn't as hot as it is today, but it was like cloudy. But that's what I think is the perfect weather, you know?
Yeah, it was probably better for that because you're not out just getting roasted by the sun. I mean, it's so weird. The sun here in Newfoundland is so weird. It's like 20 degrees and everyone's crisp. Like it's like feels like the UV is hotter on the island for some reason.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, today is like the best day probably that we'll have all summer.
I know it literally feels like middle of August out there. So yeah, great day to shoot a podcast and sit inside the office on the computers. Yeah.
I think I gotta edit a video after this too. So like,
yeah, you feel it, man. You know what's going on. Well, thanks so much for doing this, man. I really appreciate it. I reached out last week. I thought you'd be a great person to have on. I mean, you're one of those people in Newfoundland that like you are a steady crack creating content. I mean, I'm a content creator. So are you, man. That's something that you do all the time. I mean, I definitely want to talk about all the stuff that you're up to and everything that's going on. But I kind of wanted to start from the beginning. I mean, you've been pumping out videos for years. I mean, even like for a very long time. I mean, obviously, like the Newfoundlander versus was kind of like a series that kind of got you going in some of those. But I think you were putting out videos even kind of before the Newfoundlander versus.
We were making videos in junior high. That videos that would just exist on video camera that no one else got to fucking see. So we were doing it back then for nobody except for us, just to record it and then look at it and be like, "That's hilarious." So yeah, it's just like something that's always been a part of my life, and I think the reason for it is, in a weird way, Jackass.
Right.
Because when that came out, all of us were like, let's go skateboard and like film ourselves doing stupid shit. And then that slowly evolved into like, what else can we do with this? Like, and then that's how you got into the idea of like making skits and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I bet you how many people in the world have probably done something like that, have seen Jackass and been like, man, I could do that. I mean, we're always doing shit like that. Why don't we just film it? Especially like in skateboarding culture. I mean, skateboarding and foolishness and shenanigans kind of go hand in hand. It's like, because it's like a kind of a party atmosphere. I mean, skaters are always out like, you know, riding and they're getting baked and they're drinking, partying, and then they're just doing stupid shit to get laughs out of each other. I mean, how many videos have started like that from Jackass?
And like Jackass was such a big part of like all of our childhood. Like we all wanted to be Bam Margera. And I remember, you know who Troy Marr is?
Yep.
Yeah, like he's big in the film industry. Like he's a big cameraman and stuff like that, or whatever he does. He told me that if it wasn't for Jackass, he would have never picked up a camera in his life. Like that's what started him. Like it's crazy that influence that. Like, and that's something that not really many people talk about. Like, because it must be all over the world. People that are into film picked up a camera because of that.
Well, I think everybody kind of seen how easy it was to just pick up a handheld and film shit. Like people probably before that. And I think with the age of like, I mean, Jackass was really like, it kind of came into age just as YouTube did as well. And people were realizing how easy it is that you can just upload a video in an hour and the world can see it. I mean, we grew up in the age of YouTube. I remember watching my first YouTube videos. I remember being like, what the hell is this? This is crazy, man. Like you can just kind of search up anything. And that was, 10, 15 years ago. I mean, now YouTube is unlimited. Now people
make careers off of it. Back then, it was like you would see that one viral video that'd be like sneezing panda, or like exactly or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And like, but they would be the big ones. But now you have these content creators that are making a fucking living off just making basically a TV show, put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean it's and you got to. You got to give it to people. I mean, that's to be creative and someone like yourself. I mean, you're such a creative individual. I mean, you're always writing and editing. And I mean, I know you do filming and you're putting together all these creative ideas. So, I mean, okay. So you started off, you're kind of shooting videos with like, out skating and just doing bullshit, like, kind of Jackass shit. And then what kind of happened there? I mean, I was kind of doing some research and looking up some stuff, and it kind of looks like you posted a few videos, and then it started into the Newfoundlander versus, which kind of probably struck a note, and you were probably like, all right, maybe we can kind of run with this idea or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah, well, we put up like the videos before Newfoundlander versus. A lot of it we made a video that we sold in high school, which was basically like half Jackass, half skits, but it wasn't Newfoundland based. So then a lot of that shit I put up on YouTube. So that was like the first couple videos. Then after that, I was just like shooting in the dark. Like I didn't know what, and I remember telling everyone like, I'm not going to make Newfoundland comedy. I want something else to stick that's like wide range. I'm not going to do Newfoundland comedy. Then one day, me and Murph were just sitting down and he had honeydew melon and he was eating it and he was just like, man, this honeydew's fucking sick. And then I was like, and we just kept going back and forth. And we're like, this is so fucking funny. And then I made the first Newfoundlander versus video. And I remember as soon as it was done, I edited it. And I remember telling Murph, I don't think I'm going to release this. It's too stupid. And
no way, man.
He's like, put it out. Like, who gives a fuck? And then I was like, it's too stupid. And then, like, I literally just threw it up. And then, then it all happened. But the first honeydew melon, I thought was too stupid when I first seen it.
Well,
but now I can understand how people love it. But it's just like, I don't know. I think at the time I was just too scared to take that plunge into like pure insanity, which we now do constantly.
Yeah, but I mean, I think obviously you guys would know, and I mean, and I kind of know too, but I mean, there's a wide selection of people who love insane, stupid humor. Like that's what people get off on. Like it doesn't have to be perfectly scripted every time or perfectly filmed. It's kind of about just the bullshit and stuff that people can relate to, that people have done in their lives or have seen in their lives or have been around people like that, right?
I remember back when we used to do Newfoundlander verses, I remember sometimes we would just add in things like we'd be like, okay, Murph, now just sit there and make a face. And it was just like it makes no sense why this guy in this video is now there's a zoom, like a close up of his face, and he's just like making an insane face and making a weird noise. And it just goes back to the plot. But like for some reason it all worked with that. Like it was just absolute mayhem.
And I mean, all that stuff kind of happened, especially with like the Newfoundlander verses, like that was kind of early on in the years of social media. I mean, social media was around, but it was kind of new at that time, and not super new, but it wasn't like the way it is now. I mean, social media is such a beast in itself nowadays. I mean, so for it to kind of take off like that was pretty special, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was crazy because before that, like we had Gazebo Unit back in the day, but they only were audio links.
Yeah.
And then Dumpy, obviously. And then like after that, yeah, I guess like it would be Newfoundlander verses, which is crazy to think because we're like a part of it. So it's like the way I look at like the old Donnie Dumpy videos, when I used to watch those before we made the videos, like thinking about that, there was some kid out there looking at the Newfoundlander versus videos. Like we would look at those videos. It blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching the Dumpy video, man, for having a time and being like, holy shit, man, this has over 1 million views. Like, I'm like, this is insanity, man.
Man, he absolutely kills it. Like all the old shit that he puts out, like all those old videos were so fucking good.
Yeah.
And like just being himself. Like,
and that's the same thing. It comes from like skateboard culture, the same thing, man. All those guys are skaters. They all grew up with cameras, just filming skate videos. And then, you know, you catch your buddy over, just do something stupid in the corner, and then you're like, holy shit, man, that is so funny. And I mean, that's what skateboard videos were anyways, and they still are. It's still like a bunch of guys doing tricks and doing shit like that. But then there's like the scattered dude in the corner who's just like slamming a bottle of like rum to his head and just being an idiot, you know?
Yeah, and that's like what everyone gravitated towards like that part of the skateboard culture then became in the forefront when you're looking at things like CKY, like before Jackass. Like it seems like they were the first people to like understand, like, oh, maybe we should put more of this stuff and the skateboarding secondary.
Right.
And then that slowly evolved in there, like Jackass and like everything, basically.
Yeah, exactly. What were the Not Quite videos? They came up a little bit after the Newfoundlander verses, right?
Yeah, there was after we made Newfoundlander verses, and like so when Newfoundlander verses was over and before we made the Outhouse, there was like this dark period where we were just throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it sticked. And like everything sucked. Like everything we did wouldn't work. And I was just like, I'm a failure. Newfoundlander versus is over. I'm done. I might as well never make a video again in my fucking life. And then Not Quite was videos we made for CBC. So we had like a bit of a bigger team behind us, and we made it. We would make a video and CBC would buy it off us, and it would be played on CBC. And like I had fun doing that because I was like creating. So I think my biggest thing is I just love creating. So the fact that I was being able to create new content and people were actually seeing it, I fucking loved it. But I didn't have as much creative control as I usually like, and like we were just talking about, the insanity part of it was kind of lacking.
Right.
And so then that's how the Outhouse was made. I was like, okay, I have Not Quite, but I want to go back to the Newfoundlander versus type humor where we're just doing crazy shit and like not worried about how well it's filmed. Like we're just shooting what we think is funny. And like that's how we made the first Outhouse video.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you were kind of working, I guess, with CBC, there's only a certain amount of nonsense you can really put in it. I mean, you probably couldn't swear, and like you probably couldn't be your true authentic selves. You're trying to be funny without being like super funny, you know what I mean? Like, which is what you guys want to do. I mean, all right. So then you moved in, then you started the Outhouse. So how did that kind of begin? And you know, who's kind of involved within the Outhouse, especially like at the beginning and moving forward as well?
At the beginning was like me and Marcus started it, and we just were like, we didn't know what the fuck it was going to be. The reason I called it the Outhouse is because I was thinking about making it a thing where anyone could come and give us a video. Like you could come to me and be like, I got this hilarious video, and I would post it on the Outhouse. And I was going to make the slogan, the Outhouse, the place in Newfoundland comes to shit.
Right.
And I was just like, going to just like straight up, just like put up like whoever's video. And then I just became selfish. I was like, no, just me. Yeah. So yeah, then we just kept making videos, and we start posting like the old YouTube clips like that we had and putting it on Facebook, because it's all ever since the Outhouse became a thing, it seemed like Facebook is the new thing that gets you views. You know what I mean? Like YouTube doesn't hit the same anymore. Like you get 100,000 views on Facebook, and that translates to like 6,000 on YouTube.
Yeah, I've always noticed that myself, even like, you know, doing music and stuff. It's like, I've always kind of struggled with that on whether if I should post, like, say, a music video, if I should post it on Facebook or I should keep it to YouTube and share links.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to share links, but you do not get the same views, man, as if you post it to Facebook and share the Facebook, if you share the Facebook videos. I mean, the reach is so much bigger that way.
Oh, it's crazy. And we tried everything, man. We're after trying like see the extended version on YouTube. We're like just straight up posting the YouTube link. Even like, you know how the Facebook video automatically plays? We had it set up once with one video that like it was just YouTube strictly, but the YouTube link would automatically play on people's timeline, and it still fucking wouldn't translate. Like, yeah. It's just, I don't understand it.
Yeah, that's tough. So how involved are you, say, with, I mean, I was looking down through it. There's like over 320 videos on that, on your YouTube channel alone, which is an absolute insane amount of videos. Like, that's a lot of content. And I mean, like you mentioned earlier, I'm sure there's even more that it just probably never ever got posted, or just that stuff that's maybe got half done and all that shit. But like, how involved are you, say, with, you know, the actual writing, filming, editing? How much are you involved with that kind of stuff?
I would say on the channel, I would say like on my YouTube channel right now, I would say I probably wrote maybe like 80% of it. Mike probably wrote 20% of it, just because like I've had the channel for like a decade, and Mike only came on the Outhouse like 4 years ago. So whatever videos he wrote in those 4 years, you know what I mean? And yeah, I do all the editing, and I film like, I'd say like 40, 60. Johnny Rockhard does a lot of filming for us.
Yeah. That's cool. I know Johnny, man. He's awesome. He actually designs a bunch of show posters for me. He always does. He did this one right here. This one right here on the wall. This Tibbs Eve one, which is hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
He showed me that.
Yeah. So, with regards to that kind of stuff, I mean, you obviously have no training in anything of that. Is that just something that you kind of picked up over the years, like from just working at it, or how does that kind of work?
I think like just as a kid, just doing it since I was 13, like if you do something for that long, you're bound to be mediocre at best at it. And I'm sure you meet people in the film industry that say I'm still shit. So right.
Do you ever get any, you ever get any flack from anybody like that? Does anybody ever like chirp you or anything like that?
It happens. It doesn't happen as much to your face as you would think it would. But like I remember back in Newfoundlander versus was a different time. Like Newfoundlander versus, people would chirp me. Like you go places and people would be like kind of like the older guys, because we were like 19 or 20 at the time. Yeah. Then you go somewhere, you have some like guy that's like older who can probably see how stupid Newfoundlander versus is, and he'd probably like chirp you a little bit. But like with the Outhouse, I like, judging by the comments, I know people hate us. Like there's definitely people that don't like us, but no one ever says it to your face.
Right.
Fucking dummy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's awesome. So I want to ask you something pretty cool. I mean, so I think it was 2019. The Outhouse collaborated with Rum Ragged, who are obviously great friends of mine. I obviously know Mark and Aaron and the guys really, really well, and I've played with them over the years. And but you guys you collaborated with Rum Ragged to shoot the Ladies Man video. It actually won Video of the Year for musicNL. Like, how did that all pan out, and how did you guys come up with that?
That came, okay, it's funny you asked that. Someone asked me that yesterday.
Okay.
Like the first time someone
fresh on your mind, yeah.
They did the rap battle with us.
Right. Yep.
That rap battle, when they were there with us shooting, they were telling Mike, they're like, we have this idea of like, we got this Ladies Man video that we want to make, and we think it would be hilarious if you played every girl. And like there was just like the Ladies Man, and then like Mike was like, well, Hako can do that. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then you be all the girls, and then like they basically had like the concept of what they wanted to do, and they came to like us and told us, And then Mike kind of just ran with it. Like he made it his own little personal project, and he like was writing out all the shots, and like he got Johnny to film it. And then, yeah, he took a lot of initiative on that project by himself. But we all obviously like helped here and there. But yeah, that's basically how it happened.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, it's a great video. It's so funny. A shot of Christians, I believe. A lot of it shot of Christians, and then like, Terry Ryan's in it. Like it's hilarious. Like the cameos.
That was the first time I ever met Terry Ryan, man.
Okay, yeah, right on.
But now I know him well.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I ever met him, and he was just like sitting off in his car, like I don't know what was going on at the time, but he was like screaming at someone on his phone, and we're all just like, it's his turn to shoot. Like, who wants to go get him? And we're all scared to death to go over and get Terry Ryan. He's screaming at someone in his car on the phone.
He's gonna go over and beat the head off someone.
Yeah, then he comes over and he just like hangs up the phone. He's like, all right, guys, what's up? He's snapped out of it like that.
Another really cool thing that I know that you guys have done, you collaborated with the Quidi Vidi Brewery for the Outhouse Home-brew Session Lager. How did that come about? And like, there was like a contest or something with the boxes or the bottles, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was. You collected all the bottles, and if you got all 12 of them, then you get to be in a video with the boys.
Okay, right.
So that was the first contest. And
did that happen?
Yes.
Who was it?
I think they were in the shed video. Do you see the shed, the virtual shed party?
Yeah.
That one.
Okay, right on. Yeah, that's sick. That's awesome.
But
go ahead.
There came about like we just basically went to Fong and was like, we should make the outhouse there, and he was just like all excited for it. He was like, let's do it 100%. And we did it, and then all of a sudden the sales were really good in summer, like 2 summers ago. And then we did the Christmas one because we wanted to do the 12 Days of Christmas.
Right.
I love how I'm struggling to remember the name of our own shit. I'm like, what the fuck is that called again? But yeah, the 12 Days of Christmas. And then, yeah, we did it again that summer. And then that was it, yeah. So last summer was the last time it was out.
Right. No, that's cool. And you said it did pretty well. It went over pretty well.
Yeah, it went pretty well, yeah. And we just like, I think we're just like shooting it out too frequently, and then Fawn was like, okay, let's like put a brakes on this for a bit and see, like maybe in a couple of years we'll come back to it again. Right.
I mean, that stuff always it always bites. Like when something's popular and you give it a break and you come back to it, it's probably even going to be even better again.
It was supposed to be just for summer, so it was supposed to be just like summer, then next summer, and that was like a good like little break. But then we got drunk one night with Fong, and we came up with the 12 Days of Christmas. He's like, let's do that. And he had it like ready to go the next day. It was like in motion.
Oh, that's sick. That's awesome.
Yeah. So then at that point, so then we had the Christmas fair too. And then, so then we just put the brakes on it for a bit.
A recent project happened last year, I believe it was the Outhouse of Horror was the film. Features special guest Donnie Dunphy. I mean, I got Shannon Nooks, Chris Andrews, who you guys have done a bunch of videos with now, and it even features Newfoundland. Is the premier in that one?
Yeah, Andrew Fury.
Yeah, the premier Andrew Fury. Like, I mean, okay. Well, first off, let's explain what the horror film was. The Outhouse of Horror. Sorry, it was your first kind of attempt at a pay-per-view, and you did like in-screen viewings all across the island as well, right?
Yeah, we did one in the rec room that was sold out, which was crazy at the time. And there's a bunch of sellouts like in movie theaters around Newfoundland. It was basically just like 8 Halloween basically 8 Outhouse Halloween videos that were never released that we just made during that summer. And then we put them all together and just released it as like a pay-per-view, and like tried to just make a little event out of it. Like people could go and watch like it was a movie or something. Yeah. No, I think that was a brilliant idea on your guys' behalf, because I mean, essentially you're giving away these videos for free. I mean, you're posting them online. I mean, there's probably there's ways to make money about it. I'm sure you know how to do that, all that stuff. There's merch and there's content if you with YouTube and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I thought that was a really brilliant way to kind of push your way to actually be able to make some ticket sales and probably kind of see what kind of audience you actually had, to kind of see, all right, who's actually interested in coming to pay money to come see this shit. Yeah, it was very like when we put it up, we sold out Quidi Vidi too. I forgot about that one. So like I remember when we first put the tickets up, I was like kind of nervous because like no, I don't think that something like this has ever been done before. Like people have movie screenings, but it's like a movie that like a lot of work went into. Like this was just like us. We just did what we normally do, but we made it longer, and we just like so it's just like this is a concept that no one has ever done before. So when we put up the first shows and they sold out, it was like such a happy moment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the audience is actually there.
And you're like, fucking, okay, thank God, like, this is working. Like, you know, there's somebody that actually cares. Like,
yeah, someone likes me. Like, I can't believe it.
How do you go about getting the premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, Andrew Fury, involved in a video like that?
We know.
Don't tell me he reached out to you.
No, he never. We know someone that like works close to him.
Okay, sure.
So she told us that he was like a big fan of the videos.
Okay, neat. That must have been like pretty cool in itself.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, sometimes we'll walk into his office and we'll see him like watching one, like laughing to himself. I was like, we're like, oh man, we should ask him to be in a video. And like we were already just assuming it was going to be a no.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So then when the word got to him, like that we wanted him to be in this Halloween special, explain what it was, explain it's not going to live on YouTube or anything. It's like something that people will have for pay-per-view. Then when it's gone, like it's gone forever, and like it's not going to be on YouTube or anything like that. So I think that gave him like a little more security of like just being like, well, only like the people that pay to see this movie are going to see it. Like it's not going to be posted on Facebook, so all the people can start losing their mind, being like, "Oh, you should be running the province better, not being in Outhouse videos."
Yeah.
Right?
And how was he when you guys were? He was excited to be involved.
It was sick. Like when we went into his office, and I remember walking in, and he's just standing right there, and just being like, "Holy fuck, that is Andrew Carey." And then like he comes over and he's like shaking our hands. He's like, big fan.
No way.
It was so weird, man. And then he just like, so you had that like we had that 10 minutes of like just getting like, you know, trying to like loosen up around him, and he's trying to loosen up around us. Then by the end of it, like we were just like shooting the shit with him. And he was like best kind. Like
cool.
Just seemed, like, he didn't seem like you forgot he was the premier for sure.
Right.
Like he was just one of the boys.
I mean, he was probably happy to turn it off himself for like, you know, for a little while and just get to carry on with you guys and have a bit of fun. Because, you know, that's what it's all about, right?
The best part was when I had to tell him that he had to dress up like Marcus, like put on the coveralls and the hat, because there's a scene where he's wearing that, and I had to be like, okay, so now is the part you put this on, and he's just like, okay, and then he like goes in this room and comes back out dressed as Marcus, just like ready to go. It was hilarious. And then I'm like teaching him how to say the words. Like I'm like, I forget what the line is. Like, but it was like, oh, the line was, I'm the premier old man. So I had to keep saying that to him until he got it, because he obviously doesn't speak like Marcus. So Marcus would just be saying it to his face, and then he would be trying to repeat the way Marcus says it. It was hilarious.
What was it? Oh, what was I going to ask you there? Like you mentioned, like, I mean, you know, meeting the premier and going in, him kind of saying like, you know, he's a big fan. Like, how often does that happen to you guys? Like, if you just say you're out on George Street one night, how often do people like, I bet you people a lot of times like kind of give you the second look. Like they're like they recognize you, and then they're like, how the fuck do I know him? And then like, then it probably clicks, I bet.
Yeah, we definitely, it happens. It's so hard to answer this question without sounding like a douchebag.
No, be a douchebag. I don't care.
Well, people do come up to us, quite frequently. But it's like, it's super cool because, I mean, we're well aware we're not like fucking George Clooney and Brad Pitt. Like, we're just the dudes from the internet videos. And but it does happen on George Street specifically. That's like a bad place because everyone's drunk and they want to, of course, come up and tell you who you are.
One of the craziest things is you guys got to shoot with Buddy the Puffin just before he passed away. Like, I mean, it was fucking crazy. Like, I mean, didn't he? I mean, God love him, Chris Abbott. I mean, a fixture here in Newfoundland. I mean, he was for anybody who's listening, or maybe he's not familiar, Buddy the Puffin is our, you know, our local hockey team here. You know, it was the St. John's Maple Leafs, who were affiliate of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Then it went into the St. John's Ice Caps. There's a couple variations of them. And then it went to the Newfoundland Growlers. And I mean, he's been our mascot for over 20 years here. You guys got out and shot a video with him. And then, fuck, man, he passed away like a week later.
Yeah. First time we ever met him, man. I like showed up and we met him. And then like he's talking about like, oh man, we gotta like do more videos. Like he was a big fan of the Outhouse as well. He's like, anytime you guys want to do videos, we gotta get on the go. Like he's coming up with all these plans, and then like great guy. Like first time, like he seemed like so like full of energy, like great guy. And then all of a sudden, yeah, week later, Chris Andrews calls me. He's like, man, I gotta tell you something. He tells me, I'm just like, wow, that is. Yeah, it's fucking sad.
Yeah, that is sad, man. But pretty cool that you guys got to feature him in a video like that. I mean, that's pretty special.
We were the last people. Me and Marcus and Rocky were the last people to see him in the Buddy the Puffin costume.
Oh man, that's crazy, man. So crazy, and so sad for the province. I mean, he was such a fixture here, and I mean, that's pretty cool that you guys got to do that. I mean, that's something probably special.
All the people that I've met through doing this, seeing Buddy the Puffin come out in costume. I think me and Marcus were talking about this. It was the only time I was ever starstruck. Like, I was trying to deliver the line. I was like, "Oh God."
You want to hear? Do you want to hear? You want to hear a hilarious fact about me? I don't know if I've ever told you this. I don't think I've ever mentioned it on the podcast either. But I probably could do a whole podcast on it. But when the Fog Devils were here, the St. John's Fog Devils,
yeah,
I was the mascot, Scorch.
Really? And so how did I never know that? Like, you think people would that would be common?
I don't know, man. I tell people that randomly and they absolutely died. And I was just a kid too. I was only like 19 or something, man. And my buddy's dad had something to do with the team, and he ended up hooking me up with the job, and I ended up being Scorch. Anyways, my buddy last Christmas, just before Christmas, he went and found Scorch Christmas cards on Amazon and bought them all, and kept one for himself, kept one for me, and kept one for one of our other buddies, and he got me to sign them. It's fucking hilarious.
So it was just you, was it?
I did like they were here. I think they were here for 2 years, and I did like I think it was probably Abo, to be honest with you. Could have did the first year, and the second year I did the back end of the season. So I did the half of the end of the season and their playoff run. The last year they were here, I think they went to the third round. I was there for the whole playoffs, and I was just a kid, man. It was so funny. Like I actually thinking back on it, like obviously one of the most hilarious jobs you'll ever have in your life.
Did you ever get like drunk before you did it?
I think well, there was one time, I mean, I was absolutely destroyed, hungover, and I remember being like, I think I got to have a few beers just to get through this, because the suit, man, was like, it was like 50 degrees inside of it. I mean, it was so hot inside of it. Like, so I think but I remember like, it was so weird, man. I remember like going around the where the concession stand and all that stuff, and people just like abusing you, like punching you, hitting you, pulling on your tail. Like, I actually, hilariously to this day, I still have an injury from being a mascot, because I remember after like my second or third game, the guy who ran it or whatever, he came up to me and said, "Listen, man, you're doing an all right job, but you're not really getting the fans going enough. So I really need you to get out there and, get clapping and get the fans involved." And I'm like, I got furry mitts on, man. I can't clap. Like, it's like, there's no sound. He was like, "Well, you're going to have to use like the where the seats kind of tuck in." He was like, "You got to use your leg and you got to start stomping your leg." I was like, "All right, man." I went out and I was just stomping my leg, and I like blew out my thigh. And honestly, it still hurts me to this day. Anyways, that's a completely random story, but I was going down through your website as well. I know you guys got some merch on the go. I think that's pretty cool. So what's up with the Outhouse merch?
Johnny designs all that too.
Yeah.
And we basically we have some shirts that like are kind of like Outhouse inspired, like with the logo or something like that. But we just try to do a lot of cool ideas. Like we did a cool spoof on Ride the Lightning, Metallica, but it was like Ride the fuck, I don't remember. It was like something about a trike. I don't fucking know.
Well, there's like and there's like the Not Fit Misfits one is pretty cool.
Exactly,
yeah.
And there was a Jurassic Park one. And it was like, but it was a moose.
Newfoundland, yeah. I love that one. That one's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, plus we
got a cool Batman one coming out. It's like, it looks like the Batman from the animated series, but he has like coveralls on and it says Bayman.
Okay, hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so for anybody who's listening at home, where can folks find the Outhouse stuff?
Basically, the Facebook page is the best place to see everything that we're doing. Facebook.com/the Outhouse TV, and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Hako23, and the website outhousetv.com is where you could get the merch and shit like that.
Yeah, and by all means, go check out the merch and support the guys. I mean, they're killing it. They're always out. I mean, you're one of the people in Newfoundland, man. You're probably creating more content than anybody. I mean, so you've got to be super busy at that stuff. So by any means, anybody's listening, check out the merch line and support the guys. Plus, they're actually really awesome shirts and merch. There is really, really cool shit. So by all means, yeah, go check that out.
We'll have to do something sometime, man. We'll have to do a video sometime.
I would love to be a part of that, man. I'd love to be a part of the writing too, man. If you ever need help writing anything, or if you ever need some music for something, man, I'm always been creative like that for sure.
Yeah, let's figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, listen. So this is like a fun segment I've been doing this season on the podcast where I do like kind of a rapid fire questions. It's not like you don't need to answer and just blast away. It's you can kind of answer them quickly, but I kind of try to cater them to whoever I have on. I've got 9 or 10 questions here, and they're just kind of simple answers, and it's more just for the folks to get to know Justin Hawco. So you ready to go? You okay with that?
I'm ready.
All right. So the first question is, if you could have your ultimate dream job, what would it be?
I would say writer, like for movies, like I would love to be able to write like an actual movie that would be in theaters or some shit like that.
Did you ever like think about working in like the film industry in Newfoundland or anything like that?
Yeah, I thought about it, but like,
man, I'm telling you, right now is the time to get into it if you can, man. If it's something that you're ever looking into, because the film industry is about to explode in Newfoundland, especially with the new film school that's going to be presented. I mean, that'd be something maybe to look into as a side hobby or something, man.
I just have a lot of fun doing the internet, like creating internet content as well. Like, I feel like I'm just like so comfortable with that, and I have so much fun with it. But like, just like the dream of being able to like write like a fucking Marvel movie or something. Like, I love that so much.
Okay. What is your ideal party lunch? And a party lunch is like a bag of chips, pop, and a bar. What is your top, like your 3 things you're getting for a party lunch? What kind of chips?
Sweet chili heat chips.
Yeah.
Drink. Fuck. Just hit me with fucking regular Coke.
A standard Coke.
Yeah. And then the bar, I'll go
Aero bar. Wow.
You seem so unimpressed by all those answers.
I never expected the Aero. No, listen. There's nothing wrong with sweet chili heat. And to be honest with you, I'm a bit more of a Pepsi guy myself than a Coke guy. Although I like Coke with liquor more than I like Pepsi. But if I'm having just having a standard pop, I'm in on the Pepsi. All right, you ready for the next question? Tupac or Biggie?
I would say Biggie.
Yeah, that's my man.
I don't really listen to either, but judging what I've heard, Biggie for sure. I think.
Would you rather? Yeah, of course. He's still alive too, I heard.
Yeah, I know, in like Colombia or something.
Yeah, Cuba.
Right. Yes, yeah. Of course, that's where he's alive too.
yeah, of all places. Would you rather be in the Bay or would you rather be in town?
I guess the Bay.
The Bay, yeah. You can't go wrong with the Bay.
Yeah, always the Bay. Like, it's so chill.
It is, yeah. I just got back, man. I spent 5 days in the Bay, and it was like the most peaceful thing ever.
Everyone's so nice.
I know. All right, you're going out for dinner. What's your favorite restaurant in St. John's?
I would say, that's a good question. Probably, why am I blanking right now?
Lots of good restaurants out there.
There is. I'd say I like Blue a lot.
Blue is good. Yeah, really good.
I like the vibe there a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Fish Exchange. Big fan of the Fish Exchange too.
Yeah, they're both deadly restaurants, man. I love the Fish Exchange, and Blue rules too, man. Blue got wicked brunch down there, and it's just good vibe too. I love it down there.
We're local, right?
What's that?
Both of those things. Are both of those places local?
Yeah. They're not like a chain or anything like that.
Okay, just making sure. I didn't want to be that guy that said a chain.
Maybe the Fish Exchange might have a restaurant in Halifax or something, but it's not like Montana's. Okay, it's not like Montana's or anything like that.
Imagine I was just like Boston Pizza.
Yeah, right. BP downtown.
Fuck Jungle Jim's, man.
I love it. Well, at least that's local. At least Jungle Jim's is local.
Jungle Jim's good.
Yeah. I already probably know the answer to this, but I thought it'd be hilarious to throw it in. India or Blue Star?
Blue Star.
I knew it.
Even though Justin Fong is gonna kick my ass if he listens to this podcast.
No, man, it's like, listen, I asked you one or the other. I mean,
no, I mean, like, yeah, I always like they're starting to get. I hear that they're gonna get Blue Star on tap soon.
Yeah, Greensleeves has Blue Star on tap.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's the only place with it, but because they recently went all the bats when they did the full renos at Greensleeves. They got Blue Star on draft there now, so I think it's the only place in the province you can get it.
Oh man, I'm very curious to try that. I bet you it's deadly.
Oh, definitely. What was the next question I got for you here? What's your favorite place you've ever visited?
Montreal.
Yeah, I'd say.
That's the best hockey team.
What's that?
That's the best hockey team.
The 30
well,
second.
Not statistically though.
the 30-second hockey team in the league. The first time ever.
What are stats really?
Well, I know. Listen, yeah. What are stats really? What is getting out of the first round?
I know. Yeah. What is it? Who knows?
All right. Here's a fun one here that's kind of related to the outhouse. Who is someone you met, or what is something that has happened to you that you probably would have never expected, like when you first started making videos? Like as a kid, like what's something that's happened in your life now, or someone you met, you've been like, holy fuck, man, I can't believe that actually happened.
I would say like the two things that just popped in my head as you're saying that would be the fact that like I'm such good friends with Leon and Chris Andrews.
Right.
And it's so fucking weird. Because
Yeah.
like I look back when I was a kid, like obviously you look at them like they're like newfie celebrities or whatever. And now like Leon will be texting me on Saturday night being like, what are you at tonight? You know what I mean? And then,
Right.
me and Chris Andrews, I'll go over and have a couple beers with them and just like shoot the shit. Like the fact that those people are my friends now it's fucking, yeah. Like if I seen that as a kid, it would blow my mind.
Actually, one thing I forgot to ask you, and I'll just flip it in here now. I meant to ask you this too about the new Shannigan video. I know you guys are a big part of that. You shot it. Carl Wells makes a cameo. I mean, how did that's so much fun. How did that come about too?
Oh, Chris just messaged us and he's like, hey, we got this idea for a video. And a lot of it has to do with guys drinking in the shed. So it'd be funny if you and Marcus were the guys drinking in the shed. So of course we're all like, fuck it, yeah, we'll do it. And then Carl Wells was a part of it as well. Yeah. And he is really cool, man. Like, like just like I said with Andrew Fury, like at first, like kind of like he didn't know who the fuck we were. So he's just like, who are these guys? And then starting to talk to him, he eased up a bit. And then like he was so best kind, man. He's a really cool guy. Yeah. I've met Carl a couple times, man. Really, really nice guy. I mean, just super down to earth and pretty funny himself in his own way. It's awesome. Yeah. He was great. Has lots of good energy. I got a couple more questions for you before I let you go here. Quad or trike? Trike. Yeah. Imagine someone said quad. Like, come on, man. Who needs four wheels, man? Yeah. It's so weird that you can't, like, they don't make trikes anymore. So they're like, they are supreme vintage models now. Like, you got a big red, man, they go for top dollar. I know. Dude, you know what's so funny? Last night I was at a fire and we're all talking about how expensive big reds it would be these days. Oh yeah, man. I see them go up on like Marketplace or on Buy and Sell, man. They're loot. They are absolute loot, man, because they're vintage. I mean, they don't make them anymore. So especially if some Cadillacs of Yep. Yeah. Especially if like some skipper got one in his shed that he's like had tarped up for years and it's in good condition and he's got everything like cleaned up on it, man. You get top dollar for those things. Fuck, man. That's how you really get the chicks. That is how you, pull up in one of those. That's how you get the chicks, man. You own pristine big reds. Oh yeah. Clip that. Yeah. I know you're a huge hockey fan. Obviously, you're a diehard Habs fan. I'm a diehard Leafs fan. Obviously, the Leafs are out. Obviously, Montreal is out. Have you been watching any of the Stanley Cup playoffs at all? Yeah, man. I've been watching this one more than I usually watch it because I think like that when the Habs are in it, I'm so focused on watching them that like everything else like doesn't really mean anything to me. Yep. So now that the fact that the Habs are gone, I feel like I'm just enjoying this playoffs and just enjoying hockey. I mean, it's been great so far. I mean, a lot of great hockey there, a lot of great series. So my question for you was, who's your pick for who's going to win the Stanley Cup this year? The team I want to win the Stanley Cup is Edmonton. The team that I think will win the Stanley Cup is Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm literally I'm the exact same way, man. I don't think, man, Tampa are insane. I mean, I'm kind of shocked that the Leafs brought them to 7 games, especially the way they are just running over Florida right now. I think they're up 3-0 in the series.
They are, yeah.
And I mean,
Florida, I think the hockey pool, most of my players were from Florida. I thought they were going to like kill it.
They don't know how to win in the playoffs, man. They don't have but Tampa just know how to win, man. That last game, man, game 3, I was watching and I'm like, how many players went down the back? Because after they were blocking shots, like Stamkos went down 3 times. There's like a couple guys, like I think Stamkos blocked 4 or 5 shots. I mean, he's not a young man anymore. He's been around the league for years and just getting battered by pucks. And I mean, they just know how to win in the playoffs. That's how you win in the playoffs. And I'm also on the wagon for Edmonton. I mean, I got my brother and his family. They live out in Edmonton. They're huge Oilers fans, and I'm a huge fan of Connor McDavid as well. I mean, he is insane to watch, man.
Yeah, it would be cool to see Connor McDavid get the cup for sure.
Yeah, hopefully he wins a cup with Edmonton, so then he can actually come to Toronto where he really wants to play.
Oh, geez, don't say that.
Can you imagine Matthews and McDavid on a 1-2 punch?
Fuck. How much money do Toronto got up there, bud?
Listen, they got to spend the same amount of money as every other team, so it ain't happening. Trust me. Yeah. Not with the way that Dubas spends money in Leafland. Listen, Hako, man, I really appreciate you taking the time today, man. It's a beautiful day out there. It's one of the nicest days of the year, and you managed to squeeze in an hour for me here inside on your computer. So really, really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for doing this. And let's work on a video soon or something like that. That'd be a lot of fun, man. I'd be super down for that.
100%, man. We'll do it.
Okay, brother. Yeah, man. My pleasure, man. Really appreciate it. And for everybody at home, make sure you go check out the Outhouse online, check out the Facebook, check out the YouTube, and check out the merch store online. And we'll catch up with you soon, Hako, man. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Cheers. Huge thanks to Justin for coming on there. It was a great chat all about all the cool and creative things that he's up to. Very, very interesting. I mean, over 300 videos is wild. So much content. And those guys are absolutely hilarious. So, I mean, if by chance you have not ever seen any of the Outhouse videos or, the Newfoundlander versus videos or any of the stuff that Justin and his crew are creating, by all means, you go check it out. Jhawk23 on YouTube. But you can just Google the Outhouse and you'll find it. And so much good content there. So many funny videos and so many special guests from, some Newfoundland fame. And just absolutely hilarious. So big thanks to Justin for coming on there. That about does it for me, guys. Once again, I'll plug my the June 25th show that's coming up at the Rock House. Hopefully have tickets on sale by the end of the weekend, and it's going to be a great night of music. Hopefully I can get everybody out for a big party and a big blowout before summer really kicks in there at the end of June and everyone gets super busy, or maybe you're on the opposite end and you get to relax during the summer. But in my line of work, usually the summer is pretty crazy. So that about does for me, guys. Make sure you do follow me on all my social media channels. You can find me at Dave Whitty on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, and I'll have all the details of the show posted up on my website, www.davewhitty.com. Make sure you like and subscribe all my videos if you can on YouTube, and I appreciate all the support. From downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, guys, I'm Dave Whitty. Peace.